Hi guys, greetings from Better Man Clinics, and welcome to Ask the Expert, the segment of the program in which actual questions from our viewers and listeners are answered by the foremost experts in the field. Today's question comes from Boris in Odessa, Texas. Boris asks, can getting an MRI before a prostate biopsy be helpful for men with an elevated PSA? In order to answer Boris's question, we turn to Dr. Ganesh Palapattu, professor and chairman of urology at the University of Michigan. Here are Dr. Palapattu's thoughts on whether getting an MRI before a prostate biopsy is useful in men with an elevated PSA.
My opinion is yes, and I know that is potentially has the byproduct of increasing the cost of healthcare, for sure. I think the data is really quite good on the ability of prostate MRI, if done with the appropriate settings, with the appropriate technology, read by a well-trained radiologist, which are all important factors, that if all those are aligned, that it can be extraordinarily helpful. Because not an uncommon scenario is that a patient who does not get an MRI gets a biopsy and it's negative. Now what do? Well, usually then get an MRI to see, like, did we miss something, and then try to get at the target. So if I was the patient, I would say, I'd much rather have upfront, show me if there's a target. If there's a target, let's just do it one time, doc, instead of twice. And we know that the MRI will find areas of concern that are in areas that you might not otherwise biopsy, anatomically, geographically in the prostate, that might just be that you just normally don't sample. And I think that, again, the data is, I think, fairly good and conclusive that MRIs, when done appropriately, again, in the ways we just described, can facilitate the detection of more higher grade cancers than random biopsies, and further can avoid the detection of lower grade cancers, the ones we are unlikely to harm and the ones we should be unlikely to treat,